for Khabad?
It is a great cause, and what you people are accomplishing.
Put the mic closer to you, Harry, and give us a little more gain on these things. They're a little dead, these mics.
We all do the best for what you're doing. We must help you. And I think it gives me a great pleasure every time when this comes up. I'm always with you. So whatever you do, all your hard work, it is such an accomplishment that one cannot refuse to help along with you.
God bless you, Harry. Harry has donated tonight $18,000. Give him a big hand. Mazel tov.
What do you do? You want to tell me about it? Huh?
Mr. Weintraub.
Yeah, what is it? You want to give him the microphone? Look, Mordechai.
Here. Yeah, just a little personal note, just quickly. My mother and father just called again, and they sent in another $1,000 in memory of my mother's brother who died about 3 weeks ago, Morris Bass. And I know you're going to do Kol Nidra now, and you and I spoke backstage. And I would appreciate it if you would do it in honor of my uncle.
Definitely, it's my honor to do it in their honor. And I'd like to dedicate to your uncle and to your parents who are sitting in New York and watching, I guess, right?
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Weintraub Sr.?
Yes, yes. Rose and Sam Weintraub and the daughters of Morris Bass, Ethel, and Rebecca.
And maybe if I do it real good, I'll send another 1,000.
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Kol Nidre, this moment now is the holiest moment for many of you that do not have the opportunity to be able to participate with Kol Nidre. We urge all of you, go to your local synagogues and participate. But for those of you that can't, tonight and this moment is the moment of Kol Nidre. Ladies and gentlemen, Mordechai ben David.
Beteilen mevotolina
May the memory of Morris Bass be with us forever and for blessing. And may Mr. Weintraub's parents, Rose and Samuel Weintraub, live long, healthy, and happy years to be able to have true Yiddish nachas like they're having watching us here tonight, watching their Jerela perform, to be with us today to do so much for our community. Ladies and gentlemen, Kol Nidrei is a time when we have to really think. And tonight, now is the time. Now is the time when you should really make a cheshm hanefesh, make a true accounting, and reach real deep within your heart and real deep within your pocket. And call us now with your pledges. Many, many pledges. Thousands of pledges are coming in to bring about a refuah shleima, a full and complete recovery for the Lubavitcher Rebbe. We cannot read all the pledges, as you know, but I want you to know that people are calling from Lawrence, from Cedar Crest, from all over New York and all over Los Angeles and San Diego and all the whole United States and Canada with pledges in honor of the Lubavitcher Rebbe's speedy recovery, and may God give that we shall have this recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, go to your phones, please. It's Yom Kippur of the Welt. God knows what you can do. Please go and call us, and may God help us with a year of health and happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerry Weintraub and his wonderful son is joining us as well.
My son is joining us because he's going to be my replacement when I could ever talk you into letting me have
Many,
it.
many years, Mr. Weintraub, you'll be with us in health and in happiness.
My son, Michael, who has just given us $900. Michael and Kathy Weintraub. Thank you, Michael. I want to read off a few pledges, and I want to thank everybody. Mr. and Mrs. Fred Jacob of Los Angeles, $2,180. Mr. and Mrs. Richard Tuck, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Max Weintraub, no relation, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Milton Weidlitz, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Sheldon Zaritsky, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Eli Zahavi, $1,800. I'm doing this as quickly as I can, folks. Yep. Mr. and Mrs. William Tenenblatt, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. James Travis, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Abraham Strix, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Hal Taines. John Voigt is supposed to announce this. John, announce this quickly. Come here.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Hal Taines, Los Angeles, my dear friends, $1,800.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Mr. and Mrs. Saul Teichman, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Gershman, $1,000. Mr. and Mrs. David Wolpe, $1,000. Abram Zachary, $1,000. Miss Martha Nevins, $1,000. Mr. Alan Licker, $1,000. My dear friend, one of the greatest artists in the world, Neil Diamond, $5,000. Here's a guy who came and had lunch with me the other day, All I did was give him a little pasta and a salad, and he didn't know he was going to have to call in $10,000. Paul Junger-Witt, one of the great talents in show business, produces all the best shows on television. Mr. and Mrs. Alan Ziegler, $100,000. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Ziegler.
I have to say Rabbi Pressman.
Rabbi Pressman,
Your friend of his friend.
That's right, Alan Ziegler. A friend of Rabbi Pressman, and I'm a friend of Rabbi Pressman from both of us.
And Alan Ziegler's a great guy, and so is Mrs. Ziegler, a very, very special lady.
Will you get out of my act here? This is a very good friend of ours, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Boxenbaum. She's a great artist. He's a wonderful philanthropist. $10,000. Mike, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Fish, $5,000. Mr. Alan Bly, $5,000 in honor of his daughter, Kate.
Well, we did that, David Lee Roth. This is an old friend of mine. I got to announce it. Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Wax, $3,300.
Dr. and Mrs. Sheldon Altman, $2,750.
And we'll see you in a little while. And $36 from my nephew.
For wine. What'd you do with the Rashi wine? The $10,000 worth of Rashi wine.
Wait, I don't see it.
It's here someplace. $10,000 of Rashi wine.
Okay, wait. Go slowly. Are we doing commercials now? Wait
No, it's not commercials. No, excuse me. What does it say? It says Rashi wine. It's the best wine.
Rashi wine.
That's what they say.
$10,000.
Thank
you.
Rashi wine.
Jan, go ahead.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. You know, it's wonderful. Jerry and some of his friends and some of our friends, you know, who send us these wonderful donations and these large donations, and we bless them and thank them. I quickly would like to introduce you to some of the people who are doing the grunt work here tonight, because they're the ones who are sitting here unheralded, unannounced. So I want to introduce them to you, because they're the ones who are taking the donations of $25 and $50 and $110, and we need it because we need everyone to participate. This young man here on my left, you've seen him in a dozen TV shows, and right now he's in a new Fox series called Totally Kids Detective. He plays Matt, and his name is Davey Roberts. Davey, good to see you again. And I hear you have a fast message to your other actor friends.
I do. I'd like to tell my other actor friends, I know all you guys can afford it, all my friends, please, at least send in $360. I want to challenge all you, Fred Savage, Macaulay Culkin, everybody I know, and my non-actor friends. Please send in. You don't know what a worthy cause this really is.
You're a good boy, Davey. Thank you very much. This is Davey's mama, very proud. Yeah, she's brimming with nachas here. They have this kid. And here, this fine young fellow, you've seen him on, what is VH1? Forgive me, I'm an old...
Well, I'm schwitzing, I'm quelling to tell you this. It's MTV's other network. I'm a VJ. It's a little rash.
And you're also on Silk Stockings on CBS?
And Silk Stockings season premiere.
You want to give a fast hello to your Bubba, you say, in Florida?
Yes, Grammy from Miami, and also to my mother. My grandmother is 89 years old, and she pledges, so you can pledge too, so do it. And by the way, the kugel you made backstage is so good.
That's Roger Rose, the kugel. And this lovely lady you've seen in a dozen TV series, her name is Deborah Skelton, and right now she's making did you make it already? You finished it? Is it called Nemesis? A feature film. This is Deborah Skelton. Thank you so much for being Shelton. All right, look at the handwriting. I got excited. I thought it was Red Skelton for a minute. He should look like that in his best days. Wink Martindale, you've seen this guy in a dozen shows. Quiz shows, audience participation shows. Now he's a producer. He's produced a new show called Why Didn't I Think of That? It's hosted by Will Schreiner. It's on Saturday afternoons on Channel 7. You produced a game show and you didn't think of me to host it, Wink?
Actually, we wanted a younger host.
I want you to meet our next guy.
Excuse me. No, actually, it's not a game show. It's not a game show. It's sort of like a Star Search of Home Inventions. It's a real good show, and you would have been a good host. Oh, yeah. But you know why I didn't want you? You're too expensive.
Now you got the good reason. All right, David Norton. You've said Dr. Pepper, American Werewolf in London, Tin Pan. Oh, you were in Tin Pan Man? Oh, you are in it? Tin Pan Man. Now, Rabbi Cutler, who's he writes all these wonderful pitches that we make for Chabad. Associate producer, his wife is the producer of the show, Jeff, and Rabbi Cutler, who I will see again on Sunday night, and his shul And this young man is in his, he has co-written a show called Tin Pan Man. And I hear it's a heck of a show.
Yeah, it's a musical about, you know, songs of the 20s and 30s in Tin Pan Alley. And yes, Rabbi Cutler is one of the writers.
You good luck, and I understand you're going to open in Harris with the show. Are you going there?
We're not sure about that quite yet, but there's a possibility.
I thought you were. We were. I just played Harris, and they were talking about it, and I told them what a great show it was. Who is it? That's who this is? So what are you tumbling me up here? Leave me alone. Huh? Well, where is he? Oh, he sent this in. Oh, forgive me. Jason Gould. I thought he was here to be introduced. Jason Gould, he's the son of Elliot Gould, and I believe it's Barbara's son, too, isn't it? Elliot Gould and Barbara Streisand, Jason Gould. What a nice young man he is. He just called. He's on his way to the airport, and he's donating $5,000 to Khabad. Thank you, Jason. You're a good man like your mom and your dad. This guy is Eric Balfour. He's the star of Arresting Behavior, ABC's new comedy drama series. Just started this year, right? Eric, we want to wish you luck, and we want to thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
This lovely lady you met a little while ago, she's with us every year. One of our premier actresses, Lois Nettleton. Lois.
See you again. How you been? It's great to be here. Thank you.
We really appreciate that you even sit and, you know, take calls and help us out like this. All the best to you, Dove. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next guest, and I see her, is a lady I love very much. And she's a close, dear friend. And, you know, it's wonderful with her busy personal appearance schedule. She's an actress, she's an entertainer, she's a doll, she's a wonderful gal. She helps out so many charity causes. Miss Connie Stevens.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. What a pleasure it is to be here this evening with all these people that I love so much for such a worthy cause on a gorgeous evening. It's so pretty outside. You got a beautiful evening to raise lots of money for one of the most moving forces right here in our very own community. Each reward has its own virtue, and the greatest reward Khabad can hope to have is seeing a drug graduate return to the program and reach out and help the others desperately trying to rid themselves of the drug poison. And recently, Khabad had reason to be more than proud because from its ranks of those who did graduate and went off to responsible jobs, one of their very best decided to return to the drug center and help those who helped him. And he's doing a heck of a job.
My capacity here as a therapist and a very unusual journey for me in that 10 years ago I was a client here. In that room, actually. You filmed me as a client 10 years ago. And this is a very rare privilege to be able to not only give back to help others struggle with literally a life and death situation, but to be able to work in another capacity, to be given the trust and the encouragement of Habad and the professional staff here to take what you've learned and help others through the struggle as well. Because this is not a drug problem per se. It's more than a drug problem. You're literally fighting for your life. And it takes the effort that it would take to fight for your life to get through this.
My life's so bad. I don't have a life. I don't know how to get a life.
This is not a passive type of process where you just stay clean and sober and then everything is all right.
You've been taking chances every day going on the street trying to cop from people that could kill you without even thinking about it. And you're telling me that you can't take a chance trying to save your life?
There's another aspect of what we do here in Khabad, which I also was very privileged to start and given the encouragement to start, which is to work with the mothers, the fathers, the girlfriends, the families of the addicts whose pain I know from my own experience with my parents was as difficult and as painful as my drug addiction. Because whereas I was literally killing myself, my parents who loved me were watching me die in front of their eyes, completely helpless, and going down the tubes with me. I find that my work with families is as important as the work I do with the clients that are here.
Especially appreciative to the Habad program
because I was certain that had our son not found his place in some sanctuary, that by today he would have been found dead under a freeway someplace.
Here was this bright star of a boy that everybody had said he's so bright, he's a National Merit Scholar, he's so special, and he will be the greatest rabbi and educational teacher that the Valley has seen. And then we come to find out that this great scholar has been drinking every beer in the country, and he would report to work and report to school, and then he'd lie drunk all night and get up and start all over again for years.
A program like this does not exist anywhere in this country. This is a very unique and special type of program with a very unique and special approach to drug addiction, and it works.
Seeing my son today is like seeing him for the first time. September, he will be sober for 2 years. And all of that has been attributed to, I'd say 50% to Khabad and 50% to himself, because he really wanted to stay sober. And this program at Khabad has been is sent from God. I never thought it would be possible for him to stay sober this long. And it's been a wonderful experience. It's like having a child reborn again. And in September, he'll be 2 years old again.
It costs $3,600 a month to rehabilitate a young person addicted to drugs at the Habad National Drug Rehabilitation Centers. $3,600 can buy a lot of dinners, a lot of tickets to ball games, theaters, and movies. It can take you on trips, the good kind of trips. Not like the ones an addict goes on when he uses and abuses drugs. Their trips can take them on a few hours' journey to heaven, and then the other way, to a confinement to years of hell. A hell which will eventually take them on a one-way ticket to their final destination with, ironically, grass. And not the kind that brought about their addiction, but the green kind. The kind that covers their grave. Now, you have just seen a life worth living because someone cared enough to save it. And now, that life, because of Habad and your contributions, is being recycled into the community and helping others. Now, call now, save a life, and have a happy new year. Call 662-2218. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ben, thanks.
Jerry, how are you?
I'm fantastic. One of the greatest actors in the whole world.
And one of the greatest human beings in the whole world. Nice to see you.
I love you. I just saw him in New York the other day. He was walking on the street. He said to me, "Is this a beautiful day or is this a beautiful day?" I said, "It's a gorgeous day, but tonight is more important. Tonight, they can make tonight a beautiful night for
You know,
us."
interestingly enough, when I first started in show business, it was an exotic drug, you know, grass. Only the musicians smoked it, and they were the exotic people. And then I did a play on Broadway about heroin, a heroin addict, the first play ever done about drugs. And people could say, will it work? No, they'll never accept it. They won't believe it. They won't believe it exists. And here we are today wanting to believe still it doesn't exist, but it does exist. It's really the war in America and in the world. So you got to help. You got to help. Send the money.
Thanks,
Send the money.
Bill. Thank you. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Hank, you know, you just saw a tape and you heard Ben Gazzara talk about it. Now I want you to meet the guy that was on the tape. And again, I want to say that it's a unique thing for somebody to come down here and talk to you. It's less unique for Hank because Hank has been clean for 11 years now. So he's used to living in the real world. But he's working at the Khabad house. And he's working at the Khabad house because the Khabad house helped him. And he's trying to help other people. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you're working, I understand that you work with the parents of some of the people. And this disease, this drug disease of this addiction to drugs,
is something that doesn't affect one person.
It affects the whole family.
The whole family. Come and talk in the microphone. Explain to them how it affects the whole family and a family unit and all the friends and all the people around.
Sure. Thank you. Actually, today, I'm standing here with a sort of a heavy heart because 3 weeks ago, I buried my best friend. That best friend was my father. 12 years ago, we were as far apart as father and son could be. I was hopelessly addicted to drugs, and my father, who had seen his whole family die in Dachau, was once again watching somebody that he loved die before his eyes. Khabad not only freed me to have a relationship with myself, but the one solace I do have today is that in the last 10 years of his life, that he was able to actualize and I was able to actualize a relationship with my father that we've always wanted. And that's the special part of what Khabad is.
Hank, the important thing for them to know out there is that your story is heartwarming, and I applaud you for kicking this thing and for living a life now and for helping us, and for coming back to help us. I thank you with all my heart, and I applaud you for it. But they have to know out there that we can't do this alone, and we can't do this just by pulling strings out of the air, that we have to have money.
Absolutely.
And they got to send in money. No matter how much you can send in, please, 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 get it out and send it in right now. And once again, the unique and exceptional singing style of Moshe Yes, who'll be backed by a group of kids. The nicest kids you'd ever want to meet, and you will a little later. Moshe.
When I was but a little boy, my father took me to the island. The Long Island is where my father took me to when I was but a little boy. The Long Island next to the island of Manhattan. And he said to me, son, he always called me that. He said, son, look up at the sky. Look at the beautiful birds in the trees. Who do you think makes all this beauty, my son? Never forget, it's the Holy One, blessed be He. The Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. The Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. Why does the bird sing up in the tree? And who puts the fishes in the sea? I said the Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. Blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. And who is everywhere for infinity? The Holy One, blessed be He. And who is in control of you and me? The Holy One, blessed be He. I said the Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. Who puts the birds up in the tree now? Holy One, blessed be He. And who puts the fishes in the sea? Holy One, blessed help me out. I said the Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. The Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will. One more time now. The Holy One, blessed be He. He was, He is, He will forever be. The Holy One, Blessed be he. He was, he is, he will forever be.
We're right here. Jerry, come here. Rabbi, what's it? Just great. No, hold it. We'll call for it. Relax. Children, you were wonderful. Thank you very much, Moshe. It's sensational, Moshe. Great. Moshe, you know, Moshe is my real name, but I'll talk to you later about it. Oh, look who's here, Rabbi.
Yeah, what do you think?
When you
These
get in
kids are
town,
good.
what's new?
What do you mean, what's new? It's news in Moscow.
Dr. and Mrs. Ivan Mensch, $5,760. Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Aggie, $10,600. Mr. and Mrs. Hilton Afuni, $6,000.
A few.
Excuse me. Mr. and Mrs. Marshall Grossman, dear friends of ours, great supporters of Khabad, $5,000. Mr. Ron Plotkin, $3,600. Mr. and Mrs. Curtis Cohn, $3,000. Mrs. Joseph Lipschitz, $2,500. And a cousin of Rabbi Kunin in New York just called in with $50,000, Barnett Lieberman.
Barnett and Sue Lieberman. Give them a big hand. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Oh, I got a mic.
He wants to take my mic. Wait a second.
You know, one of the things that, you know, I'm so proud of our profession, you know, show business profession, because when you see all these performers and all that come down, give their talent and their time and their keach and all, and lovely Connie Stevens, who was here and made a beautiful pitch for Khabad, and when she left, I walked over to her to thank her for coming down, and she put this in my hand, $1,000 from her to
That's
Khabad.
beautiful.
So God bless
Let's
you.
give her a big hand.
Thank you,
Come on,
Connie. Thank you,
$1,000
Connie.
from Connie Stevens. Give her a big hand.
Give him the microphone. Rebbe, he wants to say something.
I have two here. From my uncle and aunt Mel and Linda Weintraub, $1,000. And from my cousins Abby and Richard Weintraub, $36.
Very good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Are we ready for a toast? Is that what we're saying?
That's why we're hanging out
Is that
here.
why we're hanging out
But
here?
a toast. We're ready.
A toast. A toast.
Oh, look at this.
1,697,000 Khabad.
Come on,
I see Alon Miller is here. Alon Miller. Lift those feet, Alon. Come on. Bridges.
Oh, he knows that.
Where's Mr. Boyd? Oh, Ron is here. Ronnie, lift the feet. Good. Okay.
All right.
1 second. Where's Todd Bridges? Todd, we want to thank you for coming on with us here tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
He's glad to be here.
Jeff.
He's out of breath.
I'm a little bit out of breath.
More than a little bit.
But I would just like to say I'm glad to see people supporting people who are drug addicts. I'm a former drug addict myself. And I'm happy to see that we're doing something for people, making them realize that we do care about them.
Well, that's great. And you keep strong and go from strength to strength. God bless you.
Hey, Todd, great seeing you. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Hey, Rabbi.
We have a
do
few
you know
people.
who's here?
Who's here?
I just saw Mrs. Zuckerman. Did you see her?
Of course. Aaron and Nettie Zuckerman. Kuma hair.
All right, best friends, come.
Please. Oh.
Right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, Nettie, face the camera. I'd like to introduce to you two very, very dear friends of Chabad that have dedicated the library at our wonderful school and have come here every year to do this telethon to talk to you from the bottom of their hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, for long, healthy, and happy gesunte Jahren, Nettie and Yaron Zuckerman.
Thank you, Rabbi. Dear friends, to give credence and reason for the ingathering here tonight, one must ask, what is Chabad? Who is Habad? And why the name Chabad? Chabad is man's highest hope. You and I, all of us here today, are Chabad. Caring, giving, teaching, learning, and Torah. That is the name of Chabad. 25 years ago, Chabad came to Los Angeles. Yeshiva was built for the young adults, kindergartens for the very, very young, visits to our grandparents languishing in homes and in hospitals, and of course, thought and care for the homeless, the hungry, and the poor. As the years passed, so grew Chabad. A school for girls, a home, although not permanent, for the abused and battered woman and her child, and the facilities for the addicted, no matter what the addiction or who the addicted. With care and hope, they have been returned to the main street of our society. Shall we now say, Dayenu? That is enough? In a few short days, we will hear the call of the shofar. It will be the awakening of mankind to the cry of the silent society, the homeless, the hungry, and the poor. To whom do we open the doors? And for whom do we shut them? You alone have the answer. I have a little promise that I would like to make to you. Give, and give gladly and willingly of the little that you have. And God, in His infinite wisdom, will always give you more. This I promise you. L'shana tova tikvatevu.
Amen. Let's give her a big hand.
Now that my wife got through with a little talk, I have a little check to present to the Chabad, and I gladly do so.
Thank you, Aaron. God bless you. Lange gesunte Jahren.
I wish to take the occasion to say L'shana tova tikvatenu. May we all be blessed with good health and happiness and meet again next year. Amen.
Amen. And you and Nettie with us for long, healthy, and happy years. Give them a big hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this world is made of very, very kind people. And there's one man at home, his name is Reb Moshe, and he is sitting and watching the telethon tonight. Reb Moshe, you're my friend, and you're the angel that God sent me. May God give you and your wonderful family long, healthy, and happy years. And you know, you finally won the race this year, and you have all the crowns. Now you will take the crown of Chabad and lift it higher and higher. Reb Moshe, God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, a dear friend of Chabad that's always there to pitch in and help with our simchas. Let's have a big hand for Jerry Katz and his orchestra.
Everybody, Labor Day, here we go.
Hello, I'm Diane Ladd, and I have a message. I have a message tonight for us, all of us. Every single human being has some story to tell. And for some people, the story is one of depravity, degradation, of someone's fall from grace to the new depths of a world inhabited by people who seem less than human, certainly not humane. And I would imagine that each one's story is more horrific than the next. At the Habad National Drug Rehabilitation centers a 24-hour vigil of its clients. And they can turn those stories around into happy endings. Right now, you can contribute to a happy ending. You have the power to do that. You can bring about a brighter tomorrow. Go to your phones, please, now, and call 662-2218. They are doing everything they can. Listen, won't you please pitch in and help? If you will only leave the comfort of your TV set for just a minute and call 662-2218, you will have the satisfaction of beginning your new year by helping to save a life. With so many lives being taken by the effects of a war-torn world beyond our control, this is a fight we can win right here in our own backyard. Please, let's start saving lives when given the opportunity to do so. Call now, 662-2218, 662-2218. Thank you, and God bless you in light with love. Bye.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you. Diane Ladd, a wondrous actress. You know, 3 times in her career, this lady was nominated for an Oscar, including her great performance last year in Rambling Rose, and you know it's just a question of time before she wins one, and we thank her so much for coming here. Very quickly, just a few pledges. Mr. and Mrs. Abe Gorenfeld, $180. 5-year-old Andy Parver of Great Neck, New York, is donating $5 in honor of his parents. Mr. and Mrs. Altman, Mr. Craig Levine, $180. Mr. Seymour Levine, $100 in honor of Irving Levine and friend Judith Dyker. Mr. Dave Supersteen, $180. Mr. and Mrs. Jewish, Diane, $180. Mr. I. Wise Cisneros, $100. Ms. Loop Jack, $200. And so it goes, 100, 200, 500, 5,000, whatever it is. We love you. We thank you. We're going to try to read as many of these as we can. Incidentally, I'm so embarrassed to show you how far out of it I am. Some time ago, about an hour or so ago, reading these pledges, I read a pledge from David Lee Roth, and it said from Malibu. So I said, David Lee Roth, whoever he is from Malibu, $5,000. This young man at the phones now was at home listening, getting dressed to come down here because he likes to come down every year and help out answering phones. He's a young actor, a young director, but more important, he happens to be my grandson. And he came flying in. He said, Big Pop, I can't believe it that you said David Lee Roth, $5,000, whoever he is. He happens to be one of the great, great rock stars, and was a Jewish boy. So I didn't know it. Forgive me, David. Mr. Roth, forgive me, Ian. I want you to know that once Al Jolson died, I don't know who else sings in this world. My grandson, Ian Murray.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I was here the very first year, and now I'm here again, so please keep calling in. It's a wonderful cause.
You were just a little boy when you first came here, 12 years ago. We turn it back now to Mr. Jerry Weintraub. Jerry.
I want to introduce somebody very important to me in a moment, but I want to read a couple of pledges. Mr. Manny Rohatna, $2,600. Mr. and Mrs. Ezzy Isaac, $3,000. Mr. and Mrs. Marvin Cohn, great friends of ours, $11,400. Mr. and Mrs. Martin Weil, $7,500. Mr. and Mrs. Uri Halfin, $5,000. Mr. and Mrs. David Zerner, $3,600. Mr. Harold Freeman, $36,000. And Mr. Emerson Glazer, $50,000. How about a hand for all those people? Come on, a little excitement. Thank you. Thanks, Emerson. Every year, they put everything I say on teleprompters, or almost everything I say. And this year is not different, except for this introduction. Of course, the person that I'm introducing is not listening to a word I'm saying. She's standing here talking to her daughter. She's totally ill-prepared to come out here because she's very, very busy with her child, who I think she's bringing out with her, so she's combing her child's hair. So I'm going to give her 1 minute. But I will want to say about her, when she was a performer, which she stopped doing about 20 years ago, she was one of the greatest artists in the world, and she's become and has been one of the great wives in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Weintraub. And who have you got here? Who is this? Who is this right here?
This is our daughter. This is our daughter Jody. And we're waiting for Julie. We're waiting for Julie, and we were waiting for Jamie, but I don't know what happened to them. They got so busy answering phones and talking to everybody here. It's very exciting. I wanted to tell you all that over the years, since we've been doing the telethon, I've had a great privilege. Well, actually, it started out as a privilege, but it has really become an honor, because every year this wonderful Los Angeles Boys Choir lives up to all of our expectations, and they really surpass their potential. If their sweet voices and wonderful music, stirring music, and the joy of participation alone could help all of our friends out there who are in need, we wouldn't have to be here to ask for your help for this wonderful cause. But we are here, and we do ask for your help. One of our proudest moments that Jerry and I have had was when we were able to honor our parents, Sam and Rose Weintraub, with the Sam and Rose Weintraub Elementary School, and we dedicated it in their honor.
But before, hold on. Why do you bring her out here when all these boys are out here? Can't you bring her out here and introduce a different act?
Why not? Why not? Hello, this is my other daughter. This is Julie. Hi. As I was saying, these young boys and girls who go to the Sam and Rose Elementary School, in addition to their academic studies, they're taught about justice and kindness and honesty and virtue. And they're taught not only to love their culture and to understand their heritage, but also to understand and appreciate the basic values of all humanity. And they do need your help. Many of the students come from families who are recently immigrated from Russia. And a lot of the students are on partial or full scholarships, and that costs a lot. Chabad cannot deprive any child of the right to learn and become a treasured member of the community. We want to be sure that the basic principles of Jewish learning can survive and continue. And especially our friends in New York, we want to put out a special plea to you, because we know it's getting late, and before you turn out the lights, we want you to make that very important call and help us. And now it's my honor to present to you the Los Angeles Boys Choir.
These kids will carry on. They will carry on the tradition of Jewish education and the mitzvah of reaching out and helping all those in need. For all of you out there who don't know what a mitzvah is, it's a good thing. If you have any doubts about Jewish survival, look and listen to these kids. These kids are our legacy. They are our insurance that the future is in good hands. However, there are many other children whose parents can't afford an education. And Khabad cannot and will not deprive them a chance to learn the basic values of Yiddishkeit. Please, go to your phones now. Call 662-2218. 662-2218. Pledge whatever you can so a young child can receive a good Jewish education. God bless you, and a Happy New Year. Are we going back to the kids? Come on, are we going to sing? Mordecai, come on, the boys are going to sing. Let's sing. Some music.
As in this song of Jacob's blessing to his grandchildren, you have blessed us, Jew and non-Jew alike. At this time of our collective thoughts, we spiral our thoughts toward heaven. With all of our hearts, we pray for a speedy and full recovery because we need you, the world needs you. God bless you.
May the blessing of these beautiful children join the blessings of people throughout the entire world, as expressed by our dear friend John Voight, that all these blessings shall come to their full fruition with the full and complete recovery of unsere Tate, the Heilige Lubavitcher Rebbe. Ad Mosai, God shall have compassion upon the entire world and see to it that the Rebbe will have a full and complete recovery. Amongst our very, very dear friends that I wish to mention tonight, there's a very, very special lady, Gila. And we know Albie Rosenhaus, I'm sure, is watching us tonight. Very, very, very dear friends of the Rebbe soll sein gesund, and our dear friend Sylvia Letterman, and Larry Ruchlin and the entire Ruchlin family, and Esther and Marvin Cohen. God should help all of you, that you should be healthy and happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here Mr. Jerry Weintraub as a very special guest.
This guy is, I know I keep talking about great actors and great people. This guy is one of a kind. He came in here just now and told me that he just got off a plane. His father, unfortunately, had a stroke. Our hearts go out to him. And we know the rabbi will say a prayer for him right away. And all the other rabbis, he will say a prayer for him. Ladies and gentlemen, a great actor and a great man, more importantly, and a great, great man for his people, Edward James Olmos.
Another year. I'm here to say to all of you, to everyone, my father, may I say, he's all right. He had the stroke. He will become even better as the days go forward. He's alive and he's doing very well. Which brings me to a happiness that we're here today, another year, able to say to all of you, thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for being part of this again. As you know, this year has been a very humbling year for a lot of us. The world has been dealing us out some extraordinary problems that we have to deal with. Please, I want to hear the phones ring. I'll be over here all day. If you'd like to talk to me, I'll be here answering the telephones. I just ask you to please search into your heart and understand, some of us can give of our time, and we do that. Right now, we're asking you, please, if you can't give of your time, please, call, make these phones ring. Please, give us a donation. The Khabad house is there 7 days a week for a lot of people. They're there for everyone. And I beg you, please, if you understand anything of what I've done for the last year of my life, and you've seen a lot of it, please join me in understanding that we need your help right now. We'd love to have these phones ringing right now. Please join me and my friend John and the rabbi and everybody. God bless you all, and please join me in a prayer for my father. And please make those phones ring. I'll be there. If you want to talk to me, please do. Rabbi?
Well, Eddie, come over here. Join us, Eddie. I'll give you my black hat for this tote. Where's Voight? Where's Voight? Wait.
Got a couple of...
We're just getting him ready. We're warming him up in the bullpen.
Way over
2,130,000. get a big hand, Freddie Almos.
Yeah.
Let me hear it. The big hand, Freddie Almos. And God bless your father. He'll be well. Don't worry about it. You got to come next year to dance with us as well. You got a deal.
I've been here every year.
God bless you.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, we have a couple of important, well, they're all important, but just a couple of fast donations to read.
What's fantastic about that dance?
What?
Everybody knows that that's a Jewish dance, and everybody in the country that watches this loves to watch the dancing. That's when the phones ring the most.
Yeah.
But it's great. There were 5 people out here dancing. 2 of them are not Jewish, Eddie Almos and John Voight, who have been with us every year, who help us every year, who couldn't be more supportive, who are fantastic guys, and we really love them a lot. We love them a lot. Thank you, both of you. You're great guys.
Give them a big hand. Come on.
That's the first time in their careers that John Voight and Almos were applauded for their dancing.
Well, next we'll get Ernie Banks over here to say it.
Yeah, right.
Dr. and Mrs. Mario Rose, in memory of 2 dear friends of mine and Khabad and the rabbi, David and Rosa Orzen, we dedicated a hospital chest wing in the Khabad house. $20,000. Thank you, Dr. Rose. Mr. James A. Broderick, Jr., Los Angeles, $12,000. Mr. Gerald Margulies, in memory of Morris and Bess Golub, $9,180.
These are wills, Jerry. You know, these are wills that people left us. Just incredible. We haven't met most of these people.
Mr. Herb Stein from Boston, $5,000. And Mr. and Mrs. Arnold Gittleson, $3,600. They're not all wills. A lot of these people.
And Mr. and Mrs.
Alive
Sidney
and well.
Mendlovitz. Mr. and Mrs. Sidney Mendlovitz of Long Beach, $2,250. They're the members of the High Circle. Mr. Eli Boschke, $2,800 of Encino.
Eli Bakshi, a good friend. Eli Bakshi.
Oh, Bakshi. Oh, Bachi.
Bakshi.
Oh, Bachi.
That's Hebrew and that's Italian.
You 2 are going to play Scrabble in a minute.
Mr. and Mrs. Jean and Leonard Cohn. Did I get Cohn right?
Yes.
That's all that should
with great
interest you.
difficulty, with great difficulty.
Mr. and Mrs. Cohn give $5,000 in honor of their daughters, Jennifer and Curtis Cohn. Jack Salzberg, $1,800.
And they just had a bar mitzvah. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Yes, Reggie and Ben Holkauer. That's the anacle of the Salzbergs, dear friends.
Well, you know these people. Anyway, I know what the... I know this guy.
Beginning to see the grandchildren involved, like David Chappelle and Fella Chappelle's grandchildren. He wasn't that beautiful?
Well, it's gorgeous. Listen, you know those
Maybe
people.
he'll come and dance with us.
Yeah, nice Gentile boy. I'll get him. Hey, somebody throw a yarmulke. Oh, he's got the yarmulke on him. All right,
What are you talking about? Nobody comes here without a yarmulke. It's not to
Wink
get a black hat.
Martindale, a terrific host, a producer, a good friend. Wink Martindale.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jan. And thank you, Jerry. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight and be a part of the Habad Telethon. You know what it must feel like if, God forbid, you were in a plane and it was falling to earth and any second it was going to crash? Think about that for a moment. And if you get this feeling of complete and utter despair, then you know what a young person caught in drugs is going through. If you get this feeling of complete, utter helplessness, then you know what a drug abuser is going through. And if you start to scream out and try to grip your seat and pull the plane out of its tailspin, then you know what an addict is going through as he tries to avoid crashing to a certain death. Think about...
It's been a very painful road for me. I've lost a lot. I've lost some good jobs. I've lost a marriage. I've lost a lot of friends and hurt a lot of people. Most important, I've done a lot of damage to me. I went to prison for prescription fraud. After doctors would no longer give me the drugs I needed, I just decided to impersonate one. And what I would do was call pharmacies myself and obtain, posing as a doctor and obtaining narcotics that way. Not legal, it's a felony. And I did this for the better part of 2 or 3 years before I finally got arrested. And I got 16 months in the penitentiary at Chino. If I had felt out of place in this world before I really felt it in prison. It was, needless to say, a very lonely existence and very dangerous. I did make it through, but it's something I would never want to repeat. About 5 years into my addiction, my brother committed suicide. My brother was somebody that was on drugs for a lot of years, and then one day decided just to stop, but he never got any rehabilitation. He basically just white-knuckled for 5 years, and 5 years into his sobriety, he shot himself. And that's been very, very painful. My only brother, I have no sisters. And that's one of the things I'm coming to terms with here. I have a bachelor's degree in radio, television, and film. Since obtaining that degree, it was soon after that I got into drugs and never really got a career off the ground. Like I say, I always felt inferior and never really had any belief in myself that I could make anything of myself. I would like someday to get back into that business. Perhaps in the field of sports, producing has always been my dream. If I could combine my interest in sports with my education of the television business, I think it would be wonderful. And one day I would like to do that. If it were not for Khabad, my life would just be an ongoing, miserable experience. I would probably be in a jail cell right now, completely hopeless. Khabad has given me a new lease on life, and I have dreams now. That's something that you would not have heard me say a few months ago, and I'm very thankful.
Hello, this is Norman Fell. Thank you, thank you. I just want to tell you a few things. Khabad has seen drug abusers come into its program, and after a year they have been rehabilitated and they leave the program. There's nothing better on earth than the feeling of saving a life destined for a certain death. Over the years, Khabad has saved many lives, and it hasn't been easy. The clinical part hasn't been that difficult. But treating people in the drug rehabilitation centers for $3,600 a month, that's difficult. Khabad, thanks to you, has made today a better day, and with your help and God's help, they will make tomorrow a much better day. In order to save lives and prevent drug abuse, we must fight to keep the doors of life open. Please, go to your phones now and call 662-2218. Help Khabad build a better tomorrow. Thank you, and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, that was a fantastic tape, and you heard what Norman had to say. And again, I say, making those tapes is one thing. Coming down here to see us and talk to you in person and talk to me about their problem is another thing. A lot of us won't do that. These guys have a lot of guts and a lot of energy. And the reason that they come down here and the reason that they talk to us is not for themselves, but for the next guy and the next lady, to help them and to help Khabad. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet Bruce, who you just saw on tape. Hello, Bruce. How are you? I'm doing great. I want to tell you, I think your experience and the fact that I think your experience is tough enough as it is, but to come down here and have the guts and the nerve and the attitude to share it with everybody out there so that they can help us with money, because you know what we need at the Khabad Center, is an incredible thing, and I applaud you for it. And I think we should all give Bruce a big hand out here and some encouragement. Tell me,
Well, I appreciate that. I'm pretty nervous. I mean, look at me. I feel like Richard Nixon up here.
Well, don't. You don't look like Richard Nixon, and you don't feel like Richard. And Richard Nixon did pretty good on camera also, so don't worry about it. Nothing to be nervous about. These are all friends. And the work you're here for is God's work, so you're not here for anything else, and therefore there's nothing to be nervous about, I promise you. What I wanted to ask you is, you graduated college, I understand.
Yes, I did.
Where'd you go?
Cal State University, Northridge.
Cal State University, Northridge. And then you got into a problem after college? Or
Yeah, it was about 4 years after I got out of college. I got hooked on drugs that were originally prescribed by my doctor. Pain-killing medication, very physically addicting. And before I knew it, I was addicted and was willing to go to any lengths to stay addicted. And got into a lot of trouble as a result.
God. And I understand that you lost your brother along the way.
Yeah, my brother's death was not drug-related, but it's something quite painful for me. I lost him about 4 years ago, and it's something that I'm dealing with at the program.
And you're in the Khabad program now.
I've been there about 6 months.
I'm sure the loss of a brother, I know the loss of a brother would be something you'll deal with for the rest of your life, but they're helping you at Khabad deal with this psychologically.
Quite a bit. Both the psychologists and I have a lot of great friends.
Well, that's
that
great.
are great means of support for me.
So they're helping you deal with the problem with the loss of your brother and the problem of the addiction.
That's correct.
And you feel that it's helping you. You feel the program is great.
It's a godsend.
Tell them, will you? Because I need their money to keep this program going.
Look, the program is saving my life. Send money, help us. We need you.
This is a guy that has all of it, you know. This is a guy that graduated college. He's a nice-looking young man. I'm sure he's going to be very, very successful in life. He could have done without all this nonsense in his life. And who stepped forward to help him? Khabad stepped forward to help him. And they have a program that helps. We can't run this program without your money. If you don't go to the telephone, we're finished. We're out of business. We must have it. You want guys like this not to be able to come in off the street, not to be able to be taken care of. We have to take care of them. We can't say no. It's not a matter of yes, no, maybe, will we, can. We do it. We just do it. We know that God will provide. It's you that has to provide for us. Send us the money, and send it now. Please. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jerry.
Thank you. Hiya, Rabbi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The wonderful young man.
Very, very special. Come on, can I hear a big hand for him, please? Come on. Let me hear it.
You'll make it. You'll make it.
It's our pleasure now to introduce Dr. Bruce Heller, who now is the head of Khabad Mental Health Programs, the head of our drug center. Dr. Mazel Tov, welcome aboard.
How are you, Doctor?
Welcome.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Doctor.
Thank you.
You gonna do a little pitch here for
Yes,
us?
sir.
Good. Get us some money.
Thank you. It is not that long ago that the drug addicts you have seen tonight would have been relegated to a sanitarium without much hope and without much treatment. It would have been nothing short of a miracle for these individuals to have survived their addiction. But at Habad, we see miracles happen every day. These miracles are not freely given, but they are earned. Winning the battle for recovery takes a tremendous amount of courage, strength, and especially determination. For like the testimonials of the people you've seen tonight, the life of a drug addict is filled with nothing but desperation and hopelessness. They deny their entire addiction to their families, their friends, and especially themselves. But through the program, these individuals change their lives. They change their lives from constantly taking to finally giving. It is out of this program that they learn the root causes of their addiction. But why should you care? Why should you want to help these individuals? First, drug addiction affects us all. It is a national epidemic. Statistically, for every 10 people out there, at least one person is chemically dependent. Second, more research is needed. We need to find new innovative ways of not only preventing this problem, but treating this problem. And finally, out of caring, we all win. The drug addict is returned to the community, back to his career, his family, and his friends. But this time, not as a taker, but as a giver. But we need your help. Your help is vital to us. For it out of caring that we begin to have more hope. For your continued support, confidence, and caring is greatly appreciated by the entire Habad staff and the clients. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Our next talented performer, my friends, is musical director of the Manhattan Transfer and composer of all the vocal arrangements for the musical City of Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, Yaron Goshofsky. brilliant, brilliant. Oh, magnificent, magnificent. How about that? Wasn't that glorious? Glorious. We're over here. My friend, thank you, Yaron. Thank you so much. My friends, I can't tell you what a personal thrill this is for me right now because I'm standing next to a legend who is destined for immortality at Cooperstown. You haven't been in yet? You're not in yet?
I'm on the ballot this year.
On the ballot this year. This will be a year. One of the greatest baseball players ever to play the game. And, you know, one of the greatest baseball players, arguably the greatest first baseman, but of course we can get an argument tonight because later I'm going to introduce a guy who's on our phones, Ernie Banks. So, you know, we may have a little debate about that.
Well, he was a great
We're
first
so thrilled. The former first baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Steve Garvey. Come on.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And to my good friend Ernie and to all of you, it's a pleasure being with you. And you know, I've been here for a while now and I've come to the realization that these people at Khabad would make great baseball players. And of course, they would play the game a bit differently. At home, they would have not one plate but two, one for meat and one for dairy. Their pitching is extraordinary because they pitch with their entire heart and soul to get more money. Not for themselves, but for all those in need out there. And when they come to bat, they never strike out because they can't afford to strike out because too many people in need depend on them. Their only drawback is that they refuse to steal a base, but that's okay. They don't have to because every time these people get to bat, they hit a home run. So won't you please get into the spirit of the ball game because out there you are a 10th man to Khabad's team. And everyone knows you can't start a ball game without a 10th man. Or is that a minion without a 10th man? I'm not sure. Oh, I'm an Irish guy. I'm a bit confused, but not about good things that Khabad does. I've seen some teams during my day, but these men and women are the best. Please go to your phones and pitch a pledge so that the rain can stop falling on the lives of those in need. And they can hear the umpire call, play ball, and get on with their lives. You can make it happen. Call now. Call 662-2218 and help a team win one for the rabbi. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Steve, you're a dear man. You're a dear man. Thank you so much for coming down. We really appreciate it. This gentleman I'm alongside of, just for a minute, I'd like to introduce, but he's busy on the phone taking pledges. When I introduced Steve, I told you that he was one of the great baseball players of all time and certainly one of the greatest first basemen. And he immediately said, here's a guy sitting on the phone who was also one of the all-time greats. But he ended his career as a first baseman, but he started off as one of our great shortstops. This is Mr. Ernie Banks, my friend. Ernie, take a wave to the crowd.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Oh, hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and to be with my friend Jan Murray. It's just wonderful. We're getting a lot of donations, so please call us, and we'll be here to take all the calls, and you're helping a great cause. So thank you very much for being involved with this great organization.
Thank you, Ernie. What a great guy. You know, this is the toughest thing, to just sit here and take calls all night. So we're so appreciative of all these people. We're going to introduce them all to you in a little while. But right now, to add some variety, great variety to our bombastic review here tonight, here he is, juggler, comedian, all-around terrific person, whose appearances on the Johnny Carson show catapulted him all the way down to our show. He's wonderful, he's original. Let's welcome Daniel Rosen.
Whoa, hiya. I made that. I'll stop that. Let me get set up here. Brought some kind of unusual variety of props. These three deadly, shrunken, and very sunburned Hare Krishna heads. Watch this. Ooh. You'd better like it, because this is it. Now, you know, they say a really good juggler can juggle all three balls in one hand. That's what they say. No, here goes, here goes. I'm confusing you. No, wait, I can do it, I can do it. Thank you, both of you, thank you. Wait, here goes. Yeah! Hey! I'm sweating for you. Here's the very difficult, very dangerous over the yarmulke roll. Whoa, whoa. Faster. Ow, 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 ow. Whoa, what a crowd. Wait, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something a little more difficult. You'll like these. The people in the back always like this the best. I don't know why. It's funny, before I juggle these, well, I gotta tell you, at rehearsal, I was juggling these, and these lights are so bright, I was juggling way too fast. One of them flew way out in front of me, right where you are. And this guy was there, and I whacked off his ear right off his head. I said I was sorry, but I guess he didn't hear me. But I'd hate to see that happen again. That's why tonight, I brought a blindfold, so I won't have to see a thing. Let me get set here. I've always wanted to try this. Okay, come on, Velcro. Okay. Where are they? Oh, ow, oh, they're so sharp. Oh, ow. Am I juggling yet? Oh, this crowd's easy. Wait, here goes, here goes. Yeah! Hey! I did it! Thank you very much. Don't try this at home. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you. Send in lots of money. Send in lots of money. Thank you. Yes? Hey.
He talks about juggling. You should see what I have to do with all of our budgets. Very famous stories up in the air, drug programs, yeshivas, whatever else it is. It's a joke to, thank you very much, by the way. Maybe you'll come and help us juggle with the banks. Be a great idea. Ladies and gentlemen, you see all this beautiful artwork that's here. We have the wonderful artist, Abu Kassis. Please come and join us with his wonderful galleries. Joshua Bitan, give them a big hand, please. Abu Kassis and Joshua Bitan. I want to direct your attention to the $1,800 gift, this beautiful Pesach matzah cover that he has designed. Every home should have one. How could you go to the Seder without it? But more than anything else, I want to point out this beautiful matzah plate that has a special stand on its own. It stands out. No home should be without it. That every gift of $1,000 will have that. And Abu Kassis has created this specifically for Khabad. That's for $1,000. The $500 gift is this beautiful lithograph that we have. And I just want to point out what a wonderful, wonderful man Abu Kassis is. And I would like to have a big hand for him. Come on, I can't hear you yet. Look at this beautiful plate with its beautiful stand. It's magnificent.
אנחנו מבקשים כל האנשים לתרום ולעזור לחב"ד על כל מה שהם עושים. תודה רבה.
I would like to also thank Abu Kassis again and to call Joshua Bitan from Bitan Galleries, please, to say a few words to us. They're so wonderful. They help us with the gifts every year. Wonderful people.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure for us to be involved again this year with the Khabad Telethon. It's really a most deserving cause. And please, everyone, call, make your pledge, make your donations for Khabad and all their wonderful programs. Thank you.
God bless you. Shana Tova. A happy and a healthy year. What I want to tell you, lovely, wonderful folks out there, you saw these beautiful gifts. Please call us. I know you're calling. The toad is moving, but we need your help. We've given you the best show ever possible tonight. It has been incredible, and you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to be a great show, but go to those phones and call. $3,600 a month it costs to keep someone alive in the drug rehabilitation center. It costs so much to feed the homeless. It costs so much for all of this to happen. You have to help us. I see Mr. and Mrs. Mike Volk are here. They did the embroidery here. Come on, Mike and Mrs. Volk. Isn't that wonderful? That's your embroidery work. It's Abu Kassis's design. and your embroidery work. Give them a big hand, please.
Thank you, Rabbi. Once again, it's our pleasure to do everything we can for Chabad. And Abacasi's beautiful artwork really shows well on the embroidery. And we want to tell, you know, the funny thing, my brother-in-law in Boston is probably watching the show tonight. We want to wish him and Daniela, Lawrence Schreiber and Daniela, B'Shah Tova.
It's wonderful. Tell him to send us a big check while you're at it.
Send a big check, Lawrence. And Daniela, thank you very much. It's our pleasure.
God bless you. Happy and a wonderful New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too.
Thank you. God bless you, Mike, and his wonderful wife. Give them a big hand, please. Thank you. God bless you. We want to give special thanks to our dear friends, Frieda Fingerhut, who for so many years, together with her husband, William Oliver Shalom, great supporters of Chabad. We want to thank Debbie Prell, who's watching us from Newport. Debbie is us sein gesund for long, healthy, and happy years. And I want to tell you that tonight, as we stand here before you, and we are preparing for Rosh Hashanah, which is Yizkor, to remember. And I see we have Bernice Ratner with us in the audience, and wonderful Jackie Stauber, and the wonderful Ratner, and the wonderful children. I remind myself of our dear Reb Moshe Ratner, who is looking down from up in heaven above us, and God should give that soon Mashiach will come, we'll all be together again. I want to tell you that it would not have been for the kindness of Amin Weinberg. May her memory be blessed, that lifted all of Chabad and all of the institutions. We would not be here tonight. So Tehei Nishmata Tzrura B'Tzror HaChaim, may her soul be bound up in the bounds of everlasting life. We had this year a woman called Helen Fox that we never met. I was in Russia and they called me, who is Helen Fox? I said, I don't know. Helen Fox is a lady we never met Chabad, just knew us from the telethons. And she remembered us in her will for $121,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that now it's up to each and every one of you to help us. Go to your phones and call, and I think we are ready for a vote.
All right, let's hear it. Rabbi, over $2.5 million.
$2,579,000. Where's Almo's? Oh, here we go. Oh. Where's Floyd? Okay, cut. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Oh, the Hulevin, the Wildevin, and the Wildevin, the Hulevin.
Want to leave you with one word
Don't leave us yet.
called
It's
Gaduk.
early. The show is early. Don't leave, Murray. You're too young to go. All I can say is that tonight it's gewaltig. The spirit is great. You know why?
Why?
Because we are confident that God is going to listen to all his singing, all his dancing.
That's
that
right.
is going to have a full and complete recovery. This
Alavai.
is the simcha that we are doing here tonight. And I want all of you. They tell me when we dance, the phones go off the hook.
Really?
Right.
All right, so they're all answering. You're right.
Yes,
I'll
all
tell
the
you
phones
what.
are busy.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you catch your breath?
Whoever lost-
No, you're not even breathing hard. You're in
course,
good
that's
shape,
Russia.
Rabbi.
It's good training.
It's good training. Come on, I want to introduce a
Come
great.
run with me in Moscow.
We entertain the people. Now I want to introduce a solo star.
A solo star?
All by himself. He doesn't have to have 30 people dancing with him.
I see.
Man alone on the stage. He just returned from a singing engagement at the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, and he was wonderful.
The Taj Mahal?
A great big hotel there.
I see.
And he was just
You make bar
wonderful
mitzvahs
there. What are you going to heckle me? Bar
I don't
mitzvahs
know.
at the Taj Mahal?
I don't know.
What are
Maybe.
you, clowning? And he was... You ever see a bar mitzvah at a slot machine? What are you talking about?
It doesn't go well together.
No, the next artist, he was appearing there, and he was great. I know because while he's at the Taj Mahal, I was at Harris. And no matter how brilliant my performance, no matter how funny I got, and you'd be surprised when you're not on stage with me how funny I get, Rabbi.
Is that so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Look. Anyway, I'd always hear some of the audience mumbling and said, so what? Big deal, he's funny, but he can't sing like Mel Carter. Mel Carter, between you and I, Rabbi, I can't even sing like President Carter. But Mel's new album is called The Album of Life, featuring the soon-to-be-released Raise the World, which he sang at last year's telethon. It was magnificent. Ladies and gentlemen, Mel Carter.
My father sang us lullabies. Now I must sing for him. He sang of worlds he'd never see that hugged the planet's rim. He sang of days when he was young, of things he hoped might come to pass, of how he treasured my mother, his wife. He loved her to the last. His songs were full of tenderness, of dignity and grace. They told of trials we'd overcome and those we yet would face. His songs were full of humor, yet they sometimes made us want to cry. I thought about it many a times, and I still can't tell you why. Some wound, perhaps, which never healed, some scar that would not go away, some dream he'd never realize. What caused the tears I cannot say. My father was a working man. He taught me how to dance and sing. The lyrics of my childhood still have a special ring. My father sang us lullabies. Now I must sing for him. He sang of worlds he'd never see that hugged the planet's rim. He loved my mother desperately. Oh yes, she loved him too. My father sang us lullabies, which I now sing to you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mel Carter. Mel Carter. Beautiful. Thank you, Mel. Thank you very, very much. I'm sounding like Jan, like it's my show. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve Edwards, and it is a pleasure to be here at the Khabad Telethon. Thank you very, very much. I have enjoyed this telethon every year, and it is with building guilt over the years that I've been enjoying it and not coming down here. So I am thrilled to be here. Years ago, now I'm talking before Nintendo, before the jet plane, before television and car phones, our mothers and fathers nurtured us and coddled us and sang to us. Well, today we don't seem to have time for our kids, let alone for our parents. You know how it is. In the morning we get dressed, we run to the car. If you're the kind of person who does it, you call your broker from the car phone. The stocks are taking a beating. We run to our office. There's a pile of papers on our desk, the in file, the out file, the put off till tomorrow file. Call my brother-in-law. Cancel the racquetball game. Get me the broker again. Hello, I'll be back. I got to get to the bank. What? My father's on the phone. My mother is ill. Tell him to take care of it. I'll call her later. Later. Well, there's the missus, the kids, the football game on TV for relaxation from a very hectic day. You meant to call mom and pop. Well, maybe tomorrow. Khabad, with over 30 outreach programs, is never too busy to visit our senior citizens. They are never too busy to act as surrogate children and read and talk and sing lullabies just like the elderly did to their children in another age, in another world. So please, go to your phones right now and call the number 662-2218. Help Khabad make tomorrow a brighter day for our mothers and our fathers, because you know they deserve the attention, they deserve the love, they earned it. Thank you very, very much. Before I go, ladies and gentlemen, I want to call in Jan, come in. Jan Murray. Jan
Steve,
Murray.
thank you for coming down, Steve. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Let me just say this before I go. This is such a wonderful night. I don't know how well to put this into words. This show, the Khabad Telethon, is at least as good as Star Search. And you, Jan, are better than Geraldo.
Thank you, Steve. Stevie, I want to congratulate you on your new radio show.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I listen whenever I'm in a car at what, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock?
1 until 3 on KABC.
Oh, now 1 to 3.
Now 1
you
to
were
3.
on from about 3 to 6.
7, right.
But now you're 1 to 3 on KABC. Locally only?
Right here.
L.A.?
Southern California.
And you're wonderful.
Thank
Steve,
you for
God
all the
bless you.
pleasure
Stay
for
well
the
and have a good yontif.
Okay,
Thanks,
you.
Steve. Thanks for coming down. Thank you. I want to just quickly read just a few pledges. Mr. Anthony Castro, $200. Nicole, Paul, and Hyman Danielle, children of Howard and Linda Danielle, $250. Alexander Pasthover, $180. Stan and Reva Segal, $100. Scott and Sidney Held, $100. And they want to challenge all the newlyweds to give. Mr. and Mrs. Sam Deeker, $100. Tamara Pro, $180. Mr. and Mrs. Bob and Eleanor Bloom, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Bernard Ginsberg, $50. Mr. Arthur Osterreiser, $54. Mr. Saprik Amliel, $50. Mr. Habib Silkenstein, $75. Mr. Val Schulman, $100. Mr. and Mrs. Larry Freeman, $100 in the honor of Larry's marriage. And Eric Zimmerman, Michelle Amzelem, $50. Ms. Dorothy Sterner, $500 in memory of the husband, Matt Sterner. Tally Raffi Berko, $180 in memory of Shirley. And Ms. Great Gilt Silverstein, $50 in memory of Sonny Silverstein. I'm just reading all these off, my friends, to show you that everybody is participating, and we love you and we appreciate it. It's, you know, we have hundreds more. We're going to try to read off as many as we can. Whether we do or not, please understand we love you and we're appreciative. My friends, Lainey Kazan is a brilliant star of stage, screen, and television. And she's with us this evening, and she has something to tell us. And I understand you got a new show, Lainey. Somebody told me you're flying in. You're going to do a Broadway show, is it?
I am. I'm going to do the Broadway musical of the film My Favorite Year.
That's right, the Broadway musical of My Favorite Years.
So I'm very excited
And
about it.
you know, this is a great actress, a great singer, and she's going to, can't help but be sensational in the new show.
Thank you,
Mazel tov, good luck. Lainey Kazan.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, Chabad's main thrust over the years has been its extraordinary success in touching the lives of young men and women so that they in turn will be a motivating factor in helping others. They have accomplished this through their homeless program, their national rehabilitation centers, and their school systems throughout California. Their educational network has produced doctors, teachers, scientists, community leaders, attorneys, men and women who, because of Chabad, have made a difference. A product of the Chabad Hebrew Academy in Westminster is here with us tonight, and she is a recent graduate of law from Tulane University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a graduate of the Chabad Hebrew Academy of Orange County, Melissa Kay.
Hi. Yeah, I came from yeshiva at Hebrew Academy Lubavitch, and it was a great experience. And it's really important that you help support the Academy and other schools like it. They're bringing up the children that will lead our society tomorrow. As the LA riots showed, we are not an insular community. And because our society affects us, we need to get out there and affect our community by giving money and time and volunteering. And your pledges make it possible to keep up these good works, like the national rehabilitation centers and the schools. So many good things that Chabad does, and they can't do it without your help. I mean, most of my friends are doctors, attorneys, artists, happy, capable people who are doing really well, and they need your help to keep producing these type of people. Okay, thanks.
Larry's mic. RFC.
Start again. Start again.
I'm going to say all this over again because I am so proud of being able to introduce this gentleman tonight. I've known him for over 40 years. You know him as the creator of The Tonight Show, a marvelous comedian, the creator of Meeting of Minds. He's written over 4,000 songs, 38 books, and with all his talents, the thing that I love most about him is the fact that this man is a citizen with a social consciousness. He cares about wonderful organizations like we are all working for tonight. And he has been here before for Chabad House. And I tell you that right over here at the piano, if you look, you will see my husband, Steve Allen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. There are so many wonderful performers backstage. In fact, several have already passed away back there because they've been here since Tuesday. So I'm not going to take much of your time here. By the way, for those of you at home, in the early days of television history and telethon history, comedians used to get laughs. That has not happened since 1976. I researched these things. And the reason is, at home you're listening, but nobody here is listening. They're busy. They're calling, they're answering phones, they're going to the men's room. They're doing all kinds of important things, but they're not listening. So there's nobody to laugh. And who cares? I'm here to play the piano. Something by Jerome Kern. I'm sick of my own stuff. Thank you. Hey,
my man, Steve Allen. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much for being with us. This wonderful guy. You were here last year, the year before.
I've been here several years. I haven't even gone home in 4 years. I have a little room upstairs.
And you know, Steve, I want you to know that Steve was introduced, I think, to his deep Yiddishkeit for the first time, he and Jane, his lovely wife, at my house, where he heard the four questions for the first time, and he's been answering them for me ever since. Steve, God bless you. Thank you for coming down, and great to see you. All the best. Steve Allen. Steve Allen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, my man. Thank you. I'd like to introduce to you now a graduate of our Drug Rehabilitation Center, and she graduated 3 years ago. I bet no one's ever had a happier or more important diploma. Dora.
Thank you, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 4th year I've come to the L'Chaim to Life Telethon, and it's been the 4th year that I've been a member of the Chabad family. For me, the relationship has been a life-saving one. Since graduating the Habad drug program in 1989, I've been clean and sober, and today I'm studying psychology in order to become a therapist. In so many ways, Habad and you made it possible for me to be clean and sober. With the love and care and the interest that turned my life around, and now it is my goal to give that same goodness and insight to other people who desperately need it. We all have something we can give to those in need. 4 years ago, viewers of this show gave me a chance to become a whole person. Tonight, I'm asking you to give whatever you can to help others do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I hope? I hope 50 years from now on the telethon, you're still here giving a valedictorian speech.
I'll be here.
You'll be here.
I'll be here.
I hope so. God bless you. Keep well. Stay well. Bye. All right, it's time, I think, for some Jewish, some Hebraic excitement and swing. Mordechai ben David.
Shilimo Bendias HaMashiach Ani Ma'amin Ani Ma'amin Emuno Shilimo Bendias HaMashiach Ani Ma'amin Mashiach 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 Oy 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 Mashiach 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 Mashiach, 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 oy, 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 Mashiach, 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 oy, 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 ve'afa b'she'ismamea im kozeach hakeloi, hakeloi, v'chol yom she'yavoy, ve'afa b'she'ismamea im kozeach hakeloi, hakeloi, v'chol yom she'yavoy, 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 yovoy, Ani Ma'amin, be'emuno shilimo, be'bias HaMashiach, Ani Ma'amin, Ani Ma'amin, be'emuno shilimo, be'bias HaMashiach, Ani Ma'amin, Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. ואחר שישמע מיין כוזח חכלוי חכלוי בכל יום שיבואי ואחר שישמע מיין כוזח חכלוי חכלוי בכל יום שיבואי 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 אני מאמין באמונה של אמור בביאת המשיח אני מאמין אני מאמין באמונה של אמור בביאת המשיח אני מאמין משיח 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 אוי 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 Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. Mashiach, Mashiach. Oy, 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 oy. ואף על פי שישמע מיין כוזח חכלוי חכלוי בכל יום שיבואי ואף על פי שישמע מיין כוזח חכלוי חכלוי בכל יום שיבואי 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 שיבואי
יחי אדוננו מוירנו ורבנו מלך המשיח לעולם ועד.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you a very important message. It seems that Los Angeles is in an unusual state of frenzy. People have been seen dancing and singing in the streets as well as carrying on in their homes. The reason for this infectious community celebration is the 12th annual Khabad L'chaim to Life Telethon. Channel 13 is rocking to the excitement of wild music and wilder dancing as the numbers of the tote go higher and higher. The phenomenon can only be explained by the sincerity and dedication of so many people sharing and contributing to save the lives of those in need. In the near future, there doesn't seem to be any abatement in the carrying on of this celebration. Everyone listening to me right now is asked to go to your phones and call 662-2218 because, as I understand it, the higher the tote board climbs, the more excited these people become because more people in need than ever before will be helped. This is Gary Owens turning you back to your original station. And I've got to tell you, Lawrence Welk was never like this. L'chaim to life.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, thank you, Gary, thank you. I want to make a few announcements here, some pledges, because that's what we're in business here for. Mr. and Mrs. Newton Becker, $2,000. Mr. and Mrs. Sam Sampson, $1,800. Wishes for a speedy recovery. Mr. and Mrs. Michael Katz, $1,800. Mrs. Lola Schoenfeld, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Alexander Simon, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Nick Quaranta Jr., $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Stern, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Bernard Rabb, $1,800. Mrs. Maurice Ratner, $1,800. Mrs. Chaim Reva, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Gabrielle Rubin, $1,800. Mr. and Mrs. Alan Smith, $1,000. Mr. Sam Smotrich, $1,000. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Smotrich, $1,000. Mr. and Mrs. Steve Spira, great friends of mine from Warner Brothers, $1,000, plus $5,000 from Warner Brothers from Terry Semel and Bob Daly. Mr. Joel Weissman, $1,000. Mr. Lloyd Kotzen, $25,000. Mr. Joseph Zucker, Royal Wine Corporation of Brooklyn, $10,000. Mr. Jason Barzilay, $12,000. Mr. Jason Gould, $5,000. Mr. Harry Rubenfield, $10,000. Mr. Uri Harkham, $5,000. Uri, a little more, Uri. Mr. and Mrs. Oscar Schoenfeld, $3,500. Mr. Alex Sandell, $6,000. Mr. and Mrs. Aaron Zuckerman, $2,800. Mr. and Mrs. Leslie Markley, $2,500. I have a lot more. We're going to go to a tote first, but before I do, I just wanted to relate one little story, and then I want to introduce somebody who's father of one of our drug graduates and wants to talk to me and talk to us. I had a funny situation happen today, and I was just telling somebody backstage, and they said I should repeat it out here because it was so cute. Barbara Bush, the First Lady, was looking for me today, and I was at my son's house visiting my grandchildren, and I had a few beers and a swim in the pool, and I took a nap, and I got up, and the White House switchboard was on the phone, and they said, Mrs. Bush is calling, can you take the call now? I said, of course. I took the call, and as she and I were talking, the phone kept clicking, and she said to me, I don't understand this clicking on the phone. It can't be the White House. We don't have call waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Mr. Harold Supersteen, who's the father of one of our drug graduates. Hello, Mr. Supersteen. How are you?
Okay.
Very nice to see you.
Thank you.
Would you tell the folks out there what Khabad did for your son? And
well, they did quite a bit. 2 years ago, my son didn't have a job, didn't have any money. He had nowhere to go. And he walked into Khabad one day and said the magic words. He said, I need help. And it's 2 years now. My son is drug-free.